Hey everybody, Nathan here from Free Tax Advice, and today I've got a veteran special video. Today I'm going to share with everybody exactly what I did in order to get myself 2 GI Bills. So this has tremendous value. You can increase your GI Bills capacity. I'm going to show you everything I did to get there. It's something that's available to most veterans that's not getting used enough. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do it and maximize your benefits. So the program you're going to want to use is Chapter 31 VOC Rehab. This is a pretty cool program. It's also called Veterans Readiness and Employment. In order to be eligible, you have to have a disability rating, 10% or higher. And then they have to determine that you have an employment handicap. So basically, you're going to go to this counselor, and he's going to say, why does this disability make it hard for you to find a job? And as long as you have a reasonable answer, you're in the program. It's very simple. They're trying to get you in the program. They're looking for reasons to include you in this program because not enough people are using it. So don't be deterred by that. If you have a 10% disability rating or higher, you should apply because it can literally double your GI Bill. Another cool thing about VOC Rehab is that general and OTH discharges qualify, but they get a reduced BAH. They get anywhere from $800 to $1,100 depending on marriage status and dependents. And but if you have a GI Bill still and you weren't kicked out, if you have an honorable discharge, you qualify for the full post 9/11 BAH rate. So for me, that was $2,400 a month that I was getting under the VOC Rehab program. What benefits? So there's obviously tuition is paid for through the VOC Rehab program. The other thing is housing. So if you are one of these people who's been discharged or you're a homeless veteran, they'll literally give you an apartment at the VA hospital. So that's something to consider for homeless vets. I wasn't in that situation, so I just got my BAH and had an apartment, and that's how I made it through school and got my degree and everything like that. They do offer career counseling and job support. A cool thing is you can use this for trades as well. You don't have to be forced to go into the college system if that's not your thing. If you are planning on going to a trade, I still recommend you try to use this program because later on in life you may want to seek a degree, and this could be a great opportunity for you. Also, this program is 48 months instead of the GI Bill, which is 36 months. Let's continue. So what is Chapter 33? That's the GI Bill. This is the one everybody knows. It gives you a basic allowance for housing. For me, that was $2,200 a month. In some states, it can be quite a bit higher. Well, I'll cover that a little bit later. So basically, you get your tuition and fees covered, and you get the living stipend as if you were an E5 with dependents. You also get $1,000 a year book stipend. And so they'll give you $1,000 to buy books and supplies. When you're under the VOC Rehab program, you just go into the bookstore at the school and they just give you all of your books, and then you also they'll give you like a credit to your account so you can just pick out a bunch of supplies and grab a bunch of things that you want. They'll help you get laptops, things like that. It's a little bit more financially. I think you get more out of the VOC Rehab program and what they offer with this in this particular instance. Here is a financial breakdown. I assumed like a $2,200 a month of living stipend. I think that's probably about the national average. Obviously, if you're in New York or San Francisco, I'm sure that the BAH is like $5,000–6,000 a month. So this could actually be worth quite a bit more if you pick a high value area to go to school, which I recommend that you do. I recommend you pick the highest living stipend area that you can afford. You only have one GI Bill, so use it to get the most money flowing through your control. Live cheap. Obviously they do a cost of living adjustment every year, so they'll slightly increase it. This is just an estimate of what it might look like if you started at $2,200 right now, what it'll look like over the few years. As you can see, year 4, you're done with you're done with VOC Rehab and you begin to use your GI Bill. And anyway, that's what the annual stipend's going to look like. Just an idea. Let's look at what the total value is, because this is where my $100,000 of tax-free income. Your total stipend, VOC Rehab, over 4 years at a $2,200 rate will get you $109,000. Let's just say $110,000. This is based on the COLA adjustment, so hard to say exactly. But as you can see there, as promised, that's a $100,000 of tax-free income to you. I don't know many people who wouldn't want that. And then you have GI Bill later on as just a little backup plan, or maybe to go to law school, get a master's degree. Maybe you did a trade first and now you want to go for a degree. So these are the options I want you to think about. I really recommend that you get in VOC Rehab as soon as you can. If you use your GI Bill first and already have a degree, it's going to be hard for them to justify you using VOC Rehab afterwards. It can be done, but it's less likely to work. So the discharges that qualify, honorable, you're eligible for both programs, and you get the higher BAH rate. That's the key here. You want that high BAH. Under honorable conditions, you're not going to get your GI Bill. Usually not eligible. I'm not sure what cases they allow it. But you usually are still eligible for voc rehab. I had a friend who got kicked out for drug use. He lost his GI Bill. He was devastated. He was able to use the voc rehab program to go to acting school. That's the thing. They'll approve you for almost any program that you desire. So he was able to use it to go to acting school. That's pretty good, getting paid. And at the time, he was getting paid $700 a month just to go to acting school. So, this is an option for people who think they lost it all when they got kicked out. This is a great way to get these people back on their feet. OTH, case by case for that. So it depends on the disability and circumstances. I'm not sure what criteria you're going to have to meet for that, but I would try. It's definitely, otherwise, you'll never know unless you ask. So, all right. Chapter 31 versus Chapter 33, we already kind of covered this. 31 is longer and includes laptops and tools. You have a little bit more access. And then Chapter 33 is just, your basic stuff. You get the living stipend as opposed to $1,000, right? So if your books are cheaper, maybe better have the cash. I don't know. In my opinion, all my books were fairly expensive. I came out better with Chapter 31. Anyway, obviously, we're trying to use both programs to maximize the tax-free income that you'll have access to, as well as get that master's degree, that Juris Doctorate, whatever it may be later on that you want to go for. So the strategy is you want to use Chapter 31 first, right? You really want to burn voc rehab time first because it's going to be hard for them to justify that you're unemployable if you already have a degree. So you really want to do this first. You can definitely, if you just got out of the military and you started using GI Bill, you can definitely switch programs. That's available to you, but you've already used some of your GI Bill time. And I'm trying to save as much of that GI Bill time as possible. That's what I did. I used voc rehab the whole way through, and then I had my full GI Bill when I already had my bachelor's degree. So then you use your Chapter 33, just some ideas: Juris Doctorate, become a lawyer, become an MBA, Master's of Business Administration. There's a lot of really cool things you can do when you have that extra GI Bill after you've already graduated with a degree. The potential for improvement in your life is insane. You might work for several years and then your employer's like, hey, I want you to go get that master's degree. Well, now you're getting paid to do it, and you're probably still working at your job, so you're going to really maximize your income when you're doing that. The total value of this is hard to determine. I mean, I would say it could be $200,000 plus, easy. I mean, just in living stipend, it's $100,000. So if you factor in the value of that education is what that's going to give you, it's really tough to put a number on how valuable this program can be. And you got to think out there's so many people paying out of pocket for college that would kill for this opportunity to get a master's degree. Even, all of our benefits are fantastic from the military. Here's your little timeline here. 1 to 4 years for your bachelor's degree, 5 to 7 years for your graduate school. All right. So plan your path like a mission. You have access to a fantastic opportunity here. If you don't take advantage of this, you'll regret it later on in life. I mean, there's so many people who I went to school with who graduated and they're just in massive student loans and debt, things like that. You have an opportunity, and don't squander this opportunity. So you can apply to both these programs at va.gov. If you don't have a va.gov account, that's your first step. Go make that account. It's really easy to apply for these things. My other call to action is graduate. There are so many vets that just would begin school and then drop out, and they fall into drugs and alcohol and don't finish their programs. I would say 50% of vets that start going to college don't graduate. What I recommend is, if you are going to go the college route and doing your homework is difficult for you, just stay at school, finish your homework at school, in the library, and then go home, then drink your beer, then smoke your joint. And one time I was messing around and I failed a college course while I was on the voc rehab program. Don't give up. Get back on the horse. Get back on the program, and you're gonna really appreciate that you did that you turned it around, that you didn't give up entirely. My other recommendation is that you work while you go to school. When I was working while I was going to school, because you're making that tax-free income at the same time, it's just so easy to save money. I would put my cash tips in my safe, and one day I went in that safe and I had $10,000 saved up. I wasn't even trying to save money. It's just so easy because all my living expenses were covered by the BAH, that my income from working the job was just extra, just fun money. And so I really recommend that you maximize that opportunity. Lastly, I'd like to ask you to like and subscribe to my videos. If you want to help a vet out, give me a like and subscribe. If you appreciate what I'm trying to do here, I appreciate you for watching the video. And I'll make some more videos for you soon.